Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Berham Engines. So we've got a few milling processes I've got to do today. I've also got a turning job that I've got to do with regards to the V8. And we've got cylinder heads everywhere. So let's just have a little quick run through what we've got going on, because I haven't for a while, I know that. So we've got the Cosworth here and the Mark II Focus RS or ST, can't remember what it was now. But these two are stationary at the minute, very frustrating. Still waiting for that liner to be made for the Cosworth, and the Focus we are still waiting for the oil lab kit to turn up so we can get a sample of that oil off to them and analyse and see exactly what's happening with this engine before we go any further. I said to them, I'm not willing to sort of go any further with this build until we get to the bottom of it, because obviously this motor was brand new from Ford apparently 6 months ago. So I did notice in the comments the actual owner of the vehicle, although we're doing this engine for a garage, the owner of the vehicle was watching the channel, and he did say in one of my videos, when are you going to do a video on my engine? Well, if he goes back sort of 3 or 4 videos ago, I think I did do the strip down on this motor. So if you're watching, just go back, have a little sieve through the videos, and you'll see me stripping your engine down. But yeah, that's where we are with that one at the moment. And like I say, the Cosy, just waiting on the liner. I can finish off the cylinder head, which I will do when I've got 5 minutes. My BMW, you see, most of the bits there have turned up. We've got the rings, the bearings and the gaskets. We are just waiting for a clutch to be made. So I've sent the flywheel off. It's a 5 kilo lightened flywheel, which we've faced, sent that off, and they're going to be making me a nice uprated clutch for that. So as soon as we get that back, we can get the crank assembly balanced, and I've just got to go through the head. I'm going to do the exhaust guides because they're 7mm and they're a little bit sloppy. So I've just ordered some new K-line guide liners, which we are going to need because we ran out. So we've got a new box of 7mm. So done videos on the K-lining before, but obviously when I'm doing my head, I will show you again what we do there. And then once we've done that, we can put this thing together. I'm really excited, but we shall leave the E30 to our second channel. Right guys, just got to show you this. So these are the throttle bodies off the E30 M3, and that is one that I've just spent literally about 3 or 4 minutes in the vapor blaster with. You can see that, and the good thing about it is because it's wet, it literally washes all the grit out. Obviously we wash it out afterwards, lube it all up, and that is smooth as silk compared to the old one. That's what it looked like before. So literally about 5 minutes in the blaster, and that's what you get. Well happy with that, and hopefully the customer will be. Right, another little job on the mill. So this is for Paul. Paul's building an engine back at home, and these are, as you can see, a set of Manley rods. Now, nothing wrong with the Manley rods. The only thing I will say is we always check the big end housings, make sure that they are the size that they should be, but then we do that on all other rods. Now what Paul's doing is the pistons he's using, I'm unsure of the make that he's actually using, but he's not happy with the clearance between the small end and the inside of the piston. So I think by the time he's bolted it all together and turned it over, the rod is slightly offset in the piston, and he just wants a bit more clearance. So he's got me to take 15th off either side of the small end. So basically the way I do that is just clamp it down on the big end, only as tightly as it needs to go. And then what we do, start up the cutter, and if we bring the cutter over to the rod, I have already done this now. What I normally do is set it on 0 on here and then bring that head down to touch the rod, and we know that is just touching. But if we go down to 0, see that has just started, you can hear that ringing now. You have to go a little bit carefully with rods because when you're doing this, because obviously there's no support under the bottom end, especially when you turn it over. So now we've got that set at 0. If we put our 15th thou cut on, like that. Now in theory, every time we do a side, we turn it over on every one of the rods and it will cut the same. So we put our cut on, we go. And I normally just go back over. Because there's no support on the back edge, you'd be surprised, it normally takes another thou or two cut going backwards. I know that's not like a correct process, but it's normally what works. And you can see that it's done. Now what we do, turn it over. You'll probably find now when we measure that width, it'll be 15 thou, so he wants 30 thou off in total. What we have to do then is deburr the inside of the bush, and job's a good one. So there we go, guys. The E30 M3 is all done. You see that cylinder head there looking absolutely beautiful. We've got a couple of screw-in core plugs there, which we're going to leave to the customer. They go in between the cylinder head and the cam carrier. But there's the throttle bodies and the inlet manifold looking absolutely like new. So yeah, you can imagine how beautiful that's going to look. And for not too much time at all, you know, you can have it all looking like that. You've seen all the bits that I've done for my E30 M3 motor, or the S50 motor. Yeah, it makes a world of difference and looks absolutely beautiful. So I don't think I've showed you this, guys, but this little Reliant engine here, you see, is looking beautiful in the Barium silver and black. I haven't really showed you much on this, but it's because we've been waiting for bits. Although this is a nice simple little motor, quite common back in the day I suppose, but quite sought after now and quite hard to get hold of bits. So we've had to wait for a clutch, we've had to wait for an alternator, a few bits at a time. So this one's been sort of ongoing, but Isaac, we've got him to thank for this. This is basically his own doing. He's done the whole lot of this motor. Obviously we've done a little bit of machining, but he's built the whole lot. So well done, Isaac. You know, at the end of the day, he's our apprentice. He's only been here about a year now, but he is coming on leaps and bounds, as you've all seen. Really, really smart lad. And we're just lucky to have him, to be honest. So yeah, that's a little Reliant 850 motor. Really nice motor, actually. See, it's all aluminium block, aluminium head. Lovely little motor. And I think compared to like the A series, I'm sorry if I upset all the mini fans here, but compared to the A series, it's a lightweight motor. It's a nice little engine, that is. I love the little Reliant engine, but just unfortunately, it's quite hard to get hold of bits. So that one there, let's just hope it runs as well as it looks. Well done, Isaac. So there's another job that's come out of the Vapor Blaster, guys. This is a Fiesta ST, I believe. So I've got to go through this head, and this was absolutely horrible. So rather than soda blast it, we stuck it in the Vapor Blaster. And as you can see, it's come up looking lovely. So not only is it easier to work on, the end product looks fantastic. And you'd be surprised how many customers, although we obviously do all the machining absolutely cock on, they go by what it looks like and they think it's the money's worth. If it looks good, then it's got to be the money's worth. So while we are on the subject of payments, guys, it brings me on to my thumbnail and title. So this one here, I've been meaning to put in a video for ages. Now, for all you old school people out there that have been dealing with companies a bit like ours, but back in the day, you're probably going to think I'm a right grumpy git saying this. Bear in mind, we are a VAT registered company now. A lot of the work we do are decent sums of money, some are tens of thousands of pounds occasionally. Yet we get customers that come in here, and as soon as they step out of normal society through that door, they think that we're this backstreet, backhander, sort of can you do it for cash type of business. You will be surprised how many people still ask, even on £5,000–6,000 engines, how much can you do it for cash? And I just reply, the same as card or backs. If I pay cash, can you lose the VAT? No, we can't lose the VAT. What I normally say is, I will lose the VAT as soon as Tesco start losing the VAT on your shopping. We're all VAT registered. I know back in the day there was a lot of places like ours that were the back street, sort of love a bit of cash, cash is king and all this nonsense. But for us, cash is a ball ache. We've got to stick it in the drawer, then we've got to go and bank it. Takes time. I know we get charged a little bit on the cards, etc. But it still costs us to bank the money. We have to go and bank it. It's a pain in the ass for us. So no, guys, the answer is no. We do not do anything for cash. In fact, we ought to charge a bit more for cash. But we certainly don't lose the VAT. So if any of you are thinking about coming in and asking that, no, we are not doing that. It's surprising, actually. We got 2 or 3 customers, or had customers, that will not come here anymore because we always charge the VAT. One guy in particular, he stopped coming here. He actually got really funny with me because I charged him VAT. It's only because, say if it's 20 quid plus the VAT, if it's only because I mentioned VAT. If I said it's 24 quid, he'd pay it fine. If I had a 20 quid job plus the VAT and I said to him 30 quid for cash, he's happy to pay that, although he's paid 6 quid more. Because I've said that it's 30 quid cash, he's more than willing to pay. I mean, the mentality is ridiculous. So yeah, answer to your question, guys. I know there's a lot of people that still do cash and all the rest of it, and people that end up with cash and want to get rid of it. But I suggest you just go and pop it in your bank, then pay us by card. Job done. Sorry about the moan, guys. Feel free to comment down below on what a miserable git I am. So these are the cams for the Fiesta ST. Over here, and you can see here they're not hydraulics. Now a lot of people make this mistake. They'll send a head in here off an ST or something, and these look like hydraulics because there's no shim on the top. So what they do is they send it in with just the valves and springs in and etc. Get the seats cut. Obviously that brings the valves back, and then when they put it all back together, they wonder why the thing won't start or it's got no compression, and that's because it's closed the clearances up. So you can see these, they're just a solid bucket, and at the bottom they've got a number, and that is the thickness of that bucket. So what you're meant to do the clearances in the car, you'd have to change each one of these buckets depending on the clearance you want, but obviously that gets very costly and a right old long-winded ball ache. So what we tend to do is just put them in, lay them out as they come out, put them all back in as they came out, and we do the clearances off the valve. The reason this head is in is it's a classic oil control ring issue where the rings are gone, it's burning oil, you can see it's burning oil big time, and what happens is it creates a hot spot on the valve, and that has just burned a valve out on the exhaust. So the customer has gone and bought a full set of valves, which he doesn't need. We're going to clean the old ones up. He only needs one, so we'll just take one out of there, then he can send them back, get his money back. So here's the head. We've just given it a reface. I actually give this 2 cuts because it sort of hadn't cleaned over on the back edge, but you can see that now along with the vapor blasting. Looks absolutely fantastic. So all I'm going to do is just cut the seats now, face up the valves. As long as they vacuum all right, this thing's ready to be put back together and do the clearances. I've noticed in the last week or so, there's been a few subscribers that have been tagging me in the Facebook posts and stuff. You know, you've got these Cosworth and Ford forums. I don't have a lot of time to follow the Facebook pages anymore because obviously with my channels and that, I'm really, really busy. But not to forget where it all started from. So obviously before my channels, Facebook was what I used mainly to advertise, especially on the Cosy stuff. So I'm really appreciative of people that ring us up off there. But I've noticed that obviously you get people with Cosy motors out of various things who want an engine build, and they put on an advertisement on Facebook and on these forums, you know, recommendations on where to go. And I've noticed that a lot of guys tag me now, so whether they're subscribers or they're people that have had engines done or engine machining done, because we all know that a lot of these builders now don't do their own machining, so we're quite fortunate to have a machine shop. But I'm really grateful for all you people that recommend me. When I read through it, I'll be honest with you, because I suppose compared to a lot of people like the Harvey Gibbs and A1 Rally Sport and Dave Pritchard and all the rest of it, PJ Motorsport, I haven't going anything like as long as them. But not only do some of those guys use me now for machining, which is fantastic, I really appreciate it, and almost are in awe of these guys, because obviously they're the people that I sort of went to before I started doing it. But when these guys are tagged in a post for obviously recommendations, I notice Barham Engines is amongst those names just as much as anyone else. So yeah, it's really, really nice to be one of the, I suppose, one of the bigger names in the Cosy world. I mean, I had a chat with Dave Pritchard this afternoon. Dave's going to be bringing a block down to me tomorrow and a cylinder head to repair, and we've got to do some long studs and stuff on it. We was having a chat, and I said, you know, I've never been in this game or started in the Cosy game to take work off people. I know it's, I suppose it's, in a way, it's one of those sort of, it's a clicky world, and it's the same with any make of vehicle or engine. Everyone has their trust in someone, and I don't mind at all if someone went to someone else, even though they knew we did the, you know, did the Cosies. I don't mind at all. I've never been here to take work off people, but I'm really appreciative when people come to us, even though they know who else can do it, you know. So yeah, I just thought I would put that out there, guys. I'm really appreciative. I don't want to go on and on about it, but yeah, thank you very much. Really pleased that you're pleased with what we can do. Thanks a lot, guys. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. Until Friday, we will see you on the main channel then. But stay tuned tomorrow for the second channel video. The link is in the description below, and it's Bareham Engine Stories is the name of the channel. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you then. Cheers.